Welcome back to Screen Selections. Today we've got something amazing for all the movie lovers out there. You won't believe these incredible movies that are available to watch for free right now on YouTube. From hidden gems to classic favorites, we've rounded up the best films you can stream right now without spending a dime. These are the newest movies to hit YouTube, but you should totally go check out our other videos as many of those selections are still available. Well, that's enough for the introduction, so grab your popcorn, sit back, and get ready to be amazed by what's just a click away. Now let's find out what's right for your screen selections.
You know how many federal agents you had following you?
Stay exactly where you are. I want to use every means possible to get what we need.
Starting off our list of the best free movies to watch on YouTube is the 1998 hit, Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State is a gripping political thriller that explores the dangers of government surveillance in a rapidly evolving digital age. Directed by Tony Scott, the film stars Will Smith as Robert Clayton Dean, a successful attorney whose life is turned upside down when he unwittingly comes into possession of evidence implicating powerful government officials in a political assassination. Gene Hackman co-stars as Brill, a former NSA operative who helps Dean navigate the treacherous world of surveillance and conspiracy as they try to outmaneuver corrupt officials. The film is a fast-paced mix of action, suspense, and intrigue, with dynamic performances from both Smith and Hackman, complemented by a stellar supporting cast including Jon Voight and Regina King. While Enemy of the State didn't receive any major awards, it was praised for its intense storytelling, sharp direction, and relevance to privacy concerns in the digital age. It was a commercial success, and its depiction of government surveillance proved to be eerily ahead of its time as real-world concerns about digital privacy grew in the years following its release. A little-known fact about the movie is that Gene Hackman's character Brill was inspired by his earlier role as a surveillance expert in The Conversation, 1974, another espionage thriller that also dealt with themes of privacy and paranoia. 1997's The Fifth Element is a visually stunning and action-packed sci-fi film directed by Luc Besson. Set in a futuristic 23rd century world, the story follows Corbin Dallas, played by Bruce Willis, a former soldier turned taxi driver who unexpectedly becomes humanity's last hope when a mysterious being known as Leeloo, played by Milla Jovovich, enters his life. Together, they must stop an ancient evil from destroying Earth. Gary Oldman delivers a memorable performance as a villainous and eccentric Zorg, while Chris Tucker adds a wild comedic flair as the over-the-top radio host Ruby Road. The movie was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound Editing and won a BAFTA Award for Best Special Visual Effects, showcasing its groundbreaking use of CGI and practical effects for the time. It's also known for its unique costume design by renowned fashion designer Jean-Paul Gaultier, whose futuristic creations set the movie apart visually. A little-known fact about The Fifth Element is that Luc Besson originally conceived the story when he was just 16 years old, and it took over 20 years for him to bring his vision to the big screen. The Fifth Element can be watched for free right now on YouTube.
Do you want to dance? Or do you want to dance?
I want you to do your job.
The Thomas Crown Affair is a sleek and sophisticated heist film that blends romance, suspense, and wit. Directed by John McTiernan, the movie is a modern remake of the 1968 classic, starring Pierce Brosnan as the titular Thomas Crown, a wealthy and charming billionaire with a penchant for art theft. His life takes an intriguing turn when insurance investigator Catherine Banning, played by Rene Russo, enters the scene, determined to catch him red-handed after a daring heist of a priceless painting. The chemistry between Brosnan and Russo electrifies the screen, elevating the film beyond a typical caper with a tantalizing game of cat and mouse. The film's atmosphere is enhanced by its stylish cinematography, particularly during the iconic scenes set in New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. While the Thomas Crown Affair didn't garner any major wins, it was praised for its performances and its sharp screenplay. The film's musical score, which includes a memorable rendition of Sinnerman by Nina Simone, was also widely admired. A little-known fact about the movie is that Pierce Brosnan, already famous for his role as James Bond, performed many of his own stunts, including the famous glider scene, adding an extra layer of authenticity to his portrayal of the thrill-seeking Crown.
Good always conquers evil.
2016's Cell is a sci-fi horror thriller based on the novel by Stephen King, directed by Todd Williams. The film stars John Cusack as Clay Riddle, an artist desperately trying to reunite with his son after a mysterious signal broadcasted through cell phones turns the population into mindless, violent killers. Samuel L. Jackson co-stars as Tom McCourt, a fellow survivor who teams up with Clay in a post-apocalyptic journey filled with tension and danger. The film dives into themes of technology gone awry and humanity's over-reliance on devices, with an eerie atmosphere punctuated by moments of intense action and dread. While Cusack and Jackson deliver solid performances, the movie struggled to resonate with critics and audiences, failing to capture the same magic as other Stephen King adaptations. The film didn't receive major awards or critical acclaim, but it was appreciated by some fans of the genre for its unnerving concept and chemistry between the two lead actors. A little-known fact about Cell is that it reunited Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson after their previous collaboration in another Stephen King adaptation, 1408, which was much more successful both critically and commercially. Head over to YouTube to watch Cell for free right now.
You're my boy, do you understand?
There will be to nobody halfway. Now is the time to do for yourself.
1987's Over the Top is an action drama centered around the world of competitive arm wrestling, with a heartwarming father-son story at its core. Directed by Menahem Golan, the film stars Sylvester Stallone as Lincoln Hawk, a down-on-his-luck truck driver who tries to reconnect with his estranged son, Michael, played by David Mendenhall, while competing in a high-stakes arm wrestling tournament. Lincoln hopes to win the competition and his son's love, overcoming personal struggles and facing off against tough opponents, including the formidable Bull Hurley, played by Rick Zumwalt. The film blends sports drama with emotional moments as Hawk fights not just for a championship, but for a chance at redemption and family. Stallone brings his signature grit and determination to the role, embodying the underdog spirit. Over the Top didn't receive any major awards, but was met with mixed reviews upon its release, though it has since gained a cult following for its earnest approach and unique premise. The film's soundtrack, featuring songs by artists like Kenny Loggins and Sammy Hagar, was also popular and contributed to the movie's appeal. A little-known fact about Over the Top is that Sylvester Stallone was paid a whopping $12 million for his role, which was a record-setting salary at the time for an actor taking on such an unconventional project.
The whole world now knows my son was kidnapped.
Sean, if you're watching, we love you.
This is what waits for the man who took him. This is your ransom.
1996's Ransom is a tense and emotionally charged thriller directed by Ron Howard, starring Mel Gibson as Tom Mullen, a wealthy airline executive whose life is shattered when his son Sean is kidnapped. Rene Russo plays his wife Kate, and together they must navigate the psychological torment of their son's abduction while dealing with the authorities, led by Detective Shaker, played by Gary Sinise. The plot takes a bold turn when Mullen decides to publicly offer the ransom money as a bounty on the kidnappers' heads instead of paying them, leading to a gripping, high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Gibson's intense performance as a desperate father, willing to do anything to get his son back, is one of the highlights of the film, while Sinise's chilling portrayal of the villain adds layers of suspense. The film was a commercial success and earned 2 Golden Globe nominations, Best Actor for Mel Gibson and Best Director for Ron Howard. Ransom was praised for its tight pacing, strong performances, and unexpected plot twists, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats until the final moments. A little-known fact about Ransom is that the film is a remake of the 1956 movie of the same name, which starred Glenn Ford. Additionally, before settling on Mel Gibson, the role of Tom Mullen was originally offered to Harrison Ford, who turned it down. Ransom is available to watch for free right now on YouTube. The 1987 movie Masters of the Universe is a fantasy action film based on the popular He-Man toy line and animated series. Directed by Gary Goddard, the movie stars Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, the heroic warrior from the planet Eternia, who must stop the evil Skeletor, played by Frank Langella, from taking over the universe. Unlike the colorful, mythological world of the animated series, much of the movie's action takes place on Earth, where He-Man and his companions, including Man-at-Arms and Teela, team up with 2 teenagers, played by Courtney Cox and Robert Duncan McNeil, to thwart Skeletor's plans. Lundgren's muscular presence fits He-Man's iconic look, while Langella's portrayal of Skeletor is surprisingly nuanced and menacing, elevating the film's villain to a standout performance. Though Masters of the Universe didn't receive any major awards and was largely panned by critics upon release for its low-budget effects and deviation from the original source material, it has since gained a cult following, particularly among the fans of the franchise who appreciate its campy, nostalgic appeal. A little known fact about the movie is that Frank Langella, who played Skeletor, took on the role because his son was a huge fan of the He-Man cartoons. Langella has since said that portraying Skeletor was one of the most enjoyable roles of his career, despite the heavy makeup and the film's mixed reception.
Stay here, Walker. In my future, you're dead.
The 1994 film Time Cop is a sci-fi action thriller that blends time travel with high-stakes crime drama. Directed by Peter Hyams, the film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Max Walker, a dedicated law enforcement officer working for the Time Enforcement Commission, or the TEC, an agency tasked with preventing criminals from exploiting time travel. When Walker uncovers a conspiracy involving corrupt politicians using time travel to alter history for personal gain, he finds himself racing through different eras to stop them and protect the timeline. Van Damme delivers one of his strongest performances, combining his martial arts skills with a more emotionally driven narrative as his character seeks justice and grapples with personal tragedy. The movie's action scenes, especially the iconic split kick in Walker's kitchen and the various time jumps, are highlights that showcase Van Damme's physical prowess. Though Time Cop didn't win any major awards, it was a commercial success and is often considered one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's most popular films. Its intriguing premise and blend of action with science fiction helped the movie stand out in the crowded action genre of the 90s. A little known fact about Time Cop is that it remains the highest-grossing film of Jean-Claude Van Damme's career. The movie was so successful that it spawned a short-lived TV series and even a comic book adaptation, solidifying its place as a fan favorite in the time travel genre. Time Cop is free to watch right now on YouTube.
You gotta play.
Please make it, please make it, please make it.
With the hand you're dealt.
You wouldn't happen to have a Phillips head screwdriver, would you?
The 1996 comedy Kingpin is a quirky and outrageous sports comedy directed by the Farrelly brothers, known for their offbeat humor. The film stars Woody Harrelson as Roy Munson, a former bowling prodigy whose career is derailed after a hustling scheme gone wrong, leaving him with a prosthetic hand and a life of failure. Years later, Roy discovers an Amish bowling phenom named Ishmael, played by Randy Quaid, and the two embark on a wild road trip to enter a high-stakes bowling tournament that could be their shot at redemption. Along the way, they encounter the sleazy and flamboyant Ernie Big Ern McCracken, played by none other than Bill Murray. McCracken, a rival bowler, was responsible for Roy's downfall. The film mixes crude humor, absurd situations, and genuine heart, with Harrelson's downtrodden yet charming performance as Munson, balancing perfectly with Quaid's naive Ishmael and Murray's outlandish villainy. Kingpin was not a major box office success and didn't win any awards, but it has since become a cult classic thanks to its slapstick humor, memorable performances, and the Farrelly brothers' signature style. Bill Murray's improvised scenes in particular are considered some of the funniest moments in the film. A little known fact about Kingpin is that Bill Murray improvised most of his dialogue as Big Ern McCracken, including the iconic bowling scene where he bowls 3 strikes in a row in front of a crowd. Murray actually made the strikes in real life, adding to the authenticity of his character's cocky attitude.
I will give you $10,000. You think I want money? What I want is my time back.
It's gonna be bad.
The 2002 movie Changing Lanes is a tense, character-driven thriller that explores the moral complexities of modern life through the intersecting stories of two men. Directed by Roger Mitchell, the film stars Ben Affleck as Gavin Bannock, a high-powered attorney, and Samuel L. Jackson as Doyle Gibson, an insurance salesman struggling with personal issues. Their lives collide when a minor traffic accident escalates into a day-long battle of wills, revealing the dark undercurrents of ambition, anger, and redemption. The film dives into the consequences of their escalating actions as both men grapple with their own ethical dilemmas. The performances of Affleck and Jackson are outstanding, bringing depth to the flawed but relatable characters. While the film didn't win any major awards, it was praised for its strong performances and thought-provoking narrative, making it a critical success. One little known fact about Changing Lanes is the original ending was much darker, but after negative reactions from the test audiences, the filmmakers opted for a more hopeful conclusion.
The defense has no intention of waiving our right to a public trial.
Objection! This involves classified information.
What was that?
I said you should follow the rules. I'm the wild card.
And rounding out today's list of the best new free movies available to watch on YouTube right now is the 2002 film High Crimes. High Crimes is a legal thriller that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats with a gripping story of conspiracy, justice, and personal loyalty. Directed by Carl Franklin, the film stars Ashley Judd as Claire Kubik, a high-powered defense attorney whose life is turned upside down when her husband Tom, played by Jim Caviezel, is arrested by the military for war crimes committed during a covert mission. As Claire fights to clear his name, she enlists the help of a rough-around-the-edges military lawyer, played by Morgan Freeman, whose experience and skepticism become vital to uncovering the truth. The film expertly blends courtroom drama with suspenseful twists, as secrets are revealed and Claire's trust in her husband is put to the test. While High Crimes did not win any major awards, Morgan Freeman's performance received particular praise, showcasing his ability to elevate a tense legal drama. One little-known fact about High Crimes is that it was based on Joseph Finder's 1998 novel of the same name, marking one of the first major film adaptations of his work, a thriller writer who has since become widely known in the genre. If you enjoyed today's video and list of free movies on YouTube that you could watch right now, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden gems and movie recommendations. Also, be sure to check out our other videos on the free movies on YouTube, because many of those movies are still available. Let me know in the comments which movies you're going to watch, or if there's a great one that I missed. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the latest free movies and streaming tips. Thanks for having us on your screen, and good luck with your selections, and I'll see you next time on Screen Selections.